Hello, everybody. My name is Tom. I'm the co-founder of the community called the Coffee Down Community. Coffee Down Community has the philosophy what we called. First of all, let's take a step back. Coffee Down Community is actually the first of its kind, have the landlord and the tenants together. And most of the time you will see, oh, there is a landlord, some sort of organization, or there is another renters organization to fight with landlord. No, I don't think that is going to be the best way to go. I mean, different people have different opinions. I do highly respect that. In Confidant, I believe landlord and tenants can be friends together. So our philosophy in this first kind, the first kind community in Canada, I believe, is share homes happily, travel cultures freely, make friends globally. So today I'd like to use this opportunity to share some personal experience with some landlords, as well as some investors and to-be investors, the members, let's say, who are interested in real estate investment. Let's get started. So a few days ago, I got some people come and to me, some members basically come to me and ask, Tom, how do I like to consider to invest into the apartment, condo buildings. I want to buy a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom suite and rent them out. How do you think this idea? Well, I will say in three parts in this particular, let's call it episode. First, I will explain to you what I truly think on this kind of investment. Second, I will explain to you why appears to be a good idea. And the third, I'm going to share with you why it is actually not. So first of all, my opinion on this, again, it is my personal opinion, just for your reference, nothing else. I mean, different people have different opinion. A lot of people invest in the condo buildings and the condo units made tremendous success. Some people I heard they use their condos doing the Airbnb thing in the popular cities, which is great way. I fully agree. However, what I'm talking about is in a typical situation in a modest city, you see there's condo units available. Comparing to the single family as an investor, what do you do? Which one you choose? So for me, here is what I thought. My recommendation is you need to be extremely cautious when it comes to residential condo unit investment. You may notice I use three extremes. Extremely, and that is for very good reason. Let me explain to you why. First of all, condo buildings give you very strong appearance that they looks really appealing to you, especially for the investor, the starting up, the people who just start up, who has not that much money, don't have that money, a lot of money. That is true. Let's say, give a few examples. For example, say, okay, it is cheap, right? Comparing to the single family, relatively it is cheap, easy to put in your down payment to get a start. What can be more excited than get something started, right? So that's the kind of benefit number one. Benefit number two, location. Most of condos has very strategic locations, which meaning developers did their homework. They know to sell those condos, they need to put them into the place where it's attracting to the people who are going to live in there. You got close to traffic, the transport, shoppings, big entertainment centers, so on, right? So that's the beauty of the location. And the third thing I will say is say simple. It's simple. or convenience. Say if you buy a condo after you pay the condo fee, you don't need to worry about the snow removal. You don't need to worry about grass cutting. Those are all being taken care of, right? So it's hassle free. The fourth one, let's say is easy to get started because it looks fancy, easy, 2 bedroom, 2 baths. Everything looks pretty modern, clean, nice. When you put it on the rental market, renter comes in, they love it, they get it, they move in, done, finish. You collect your rent. What is more complicated than that? Simple, right? It is so simple. Remember, I said it's simple. I'm not saying it's easy. And let's go to the next. So before I show you the problem of the condo to counter all those apparently good parts, you will say, here are the 3 things I would like to share with you in terms of residential real estate investment. What are the key factors you need to keep laser focused eyes all the time on the investment you are going to put your bet on? 3 things. Number 1, I call it asset value increase potential. In other words, is this property is going to be increase its value in the long run? How do you know that? There are more topics we can talk about in more details because of time limitation. I don't want to explain too more. However, here are the 2 reasons. Here are the few examples. Let's say location. A lot of people know location, right? Let's just make a few examples. We all agree that if this is a beach and beachfront property versus street front, which one is more valuable in long run? Beach, right? No question. And say if you have this lake view versus some other view, right? I don't want to mention. What's the price, right? We all know that. So the location itself gives you the additional value in the long run. So the asset increase is going to be in the long run, is going to be very important. You need to buy the properties that can bring in more money in the future. It will increase in the value. And secondly, cash flow. The cash flow definition for me, I think should link, again, I said this personal opinion, nothing really trying to against anybody else, okay? So the cash flow, I believe my definition of cash flow is if you want to have cash flow on the property, the best cash flow should be after you have the rent, deduct the mortgage, deduct all the costs, including the money you pay for the people who manage this property for you, so that you do not need to put time and efforts into it. Hands-free. You still can have money comes in. That is the best cash flow you should aim on. And that's the cash flow will bring you the true financial freedom. So that's what I call about cash flow. Number 3 is the time effect, or in the better words, is called compounding effect. I think everybody heard about this, that Einstein said, compounding interest rate is the 8th miracle in this world. Compounding interest rate is not only apply on money part, it actually could apply in the lot of other parts. But what people didn't pay attention is, what is that factor? Where is that factor you put on to make that compounding rate really work? The seemingly very small, rate is the time. In other words, if this is a good, beautiful property going to increase in the long run, make more money for you, The longer time you hold it, the better. It's not just the better, it's a lot better. It's exponentially increase. Okay? Well, if you go the other way, if you say, okay, I'm a little bit worse, but when the time goes on, it will go to drain. So the time effect, you got to pay attention. So real estate, three factors everybody should consider, I believe, is in order to make sure this is going to be a good bet, is you need to put those three things all the time. I said increase, cash flow, time effect. Now let's go back to the condo. The first thing I said increase, you will see in real estate there is a large portion is actually the land value. Okay, the land value for a lot of condos is a big issue because we all know how much land you actually get from a condo building versus a single family house. Let's say if they are both in a good desired location, which one is going to have more value? Okay, so one of my colleagues just walked in. So anyway, where I'm at. So I guess the next thing I would talk about is, yeah, I think we talk about the location, right? Same location, both good location, condo unit does not really have that most valuable piece, which is land. Very discounted. One of hundreds piece that is yours, right? Versus the single family, you can see the big difference. So it's a kind of a born defect, I call it. Number two, cash flow. As you can see, the biggest problem from what the view I look at it, if you do a very typical rental, you will find condo unit has two issues to cause the cash flow is going to be a very big challenge for every investor. Number one is the supply, oversupply, way more than demands. Think about this. To build a condo building, it's not that too difficult. Developers can basically get a piece of land, start to put some concrete, some frame, some drywall, get them all finished. About a year also, boom, you got 100 units, 200 units pouring into the market. So in no time you look around, you'll find you are fighting or competing with another hundreds of thousands of so-called investors who are having the same simple process, think it's easy, and turn out it's not, because now everybody start to fight for a few renters that are available. What do? You have to drop the price in order to get somebody move in. Now talk about your cash flow. You are short already because there are so many supplies. People are fighting each other. The second issue we actually have in the condo investment is the condo fee. Can anybody give me just one example that your condo fee goes down year after year? If you do have that one, send it to me. I'm going to go with you to visit if I'm allowed. So we all know if there's no big surprise, condo fee is going to be increased year after year, no exception. I think it's very safe to say it that way. Well, now you added those two things together. You have much more competitors on the marketing to fight for the renter, so that renter actually got a good part of the pie. They are getting lower rent, which is good for, overall public, but who is going to pay the bill? It's going to be you. Number two is the condo fee. It eating into your cash flow year after year. Is getting worse and worse. So the cash flow is a big challenge. Number three is the time effect. With the time pass by, condo building normally start to see a lot of issues. So then what is going to happen? I call it the invisible killer waiting for you in the dark after 3-5 years is called special assessment. And those special assessment could be a big problem because it calls on you to for a large amount of cash, which you may or may not have. Now let's think about this whole condo investment. The very appealing from appearance, sneezy condo units now turns into something quite different, and I will say is very troublesome. Number one, there is no comparison in between single family house versus a condo unit because there is no land value support this long-term increase. The potential is very different. Number two, cash flow. You are going to have a much more challenge to reach what I call the true freedom cash flow because of the fierce competition cause the lower rent than it should be. And secondly, increased condo fee year after year. Very third, the time effect is going to cause even more issue with the insult on the top is this special assessment. So overall, to summary, my view on condo investment is very simple. If you are new to the real estate investment field and somebody come to you with a nice looking, beauty, fancy condo unit, be extremely cautious. Those are the best words I can share with you. And if you want to read more, below is the link for the post. And if you like to share this information, you're more than welcome to come to do so. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you next time.